gets me every time.
Hi everyone, Jamie Madison here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to jump right into the card making. I'm pulling out my Bristol smooth paper and my stamping platform, which needs a good clean. The Versamark really is strong and really sticks to the stamping platform. Okay, so I decided to pull back out the Simon Says Stamp June Kit Beautiful Flower Stamp. This is such a beautiful stamp and I love playing around with it. So I'm placing my stamp in the lower left corner of my paper and stamping with the VersaFine and Onyx Black. And I will stamp it twice because I want it to be really dark lines. So I seen Amy R from Prairie Paper and Inks video. It inspired me to do a card with the blue, gold, pink, and white. So that's what I'm going to do for today. I feel like the stamp set is just so pretty and I feel like there's so many other ideas I have just with this one stamp. I've been really loving the florals lately. So today I'm choosing the 196 in hot pink and the 141 in night sky. I also taped down my corner of my paper so it won't move along as I'm coloring. I just use a little bit of washi tape. So I'm going to start my coloring by going in with my water brush and lightly wetting down the area. I'm still getting used to these brushes and it's a lot different than my watercoloring set that I had. But I feel like I'll get better at it as long as I keep practicing. So I hope you don't mind me using these brushes for a while. So to save time on this watercoloring that I did, I just did the one rose with the pink and then I fast forward past the other two roses because this video would have been extremely long because it did take me quite a while to do the watercoloring with these brushes because it's flipped back and forth from my water brush to the colored marker back to the water brush. But I really enjoyed it. It's a very nice relaxing time for me, so I just really enjoy it. So as I was saying with this flower, the way I was blending this out is I just kind of randomly put color in different areas. I wanted this to be more of a messy look. I didn't mind if it went outside the lines because in the end I was going to be going outside the lines anyway. So don't be too picky about how you're blending this out because in the end it will all blend out anyways and it'll look fantastic. Try to do less is more. I wish I would have left a little bit more white here and there in this flower, but I think it turned out really well and I was really happy with the way this looked. I ended up making another one for my grandma so I could send it to her. She's been on my mind a lot lately and I haven't been able to visit her as much as I'd like to. So I went ahead and did another card so I could send it to her in the mail. I thought maybe it would really make her day. That's pretty much where all my cards go is my family members. I'll send them out because I don't really know who to send them to besides keeping a collection on my desk. I feel like my artwork should be shared and not just kept in a corner. So I like sending them out to people that is on my mind. Alrighty, so as you can see, I went ahead and did the other flowers, and as I was on this third flower, this ink had plenty of time to dry, so I have no idea why this did this to me. I don't know if it's because I stamped it twice or not, but it got all over my paper and on the side of my hand, so as I was coloring, it was smearing on the white paper, and I needed that area to actually be white. So what I did was I took my stamp chamois from Lawn Fun, which was already wet from me cleaning my ink off of my stamps. So I went ahead and just tried to rub that off and it actually picked up the ink off my paper enough that whenever I do blend this pink out, you won't see it. So that was my saving grace because I did not want to have to start this all over again. But I would have if it wouldn't have came off because there was no way I was going to have that black ink smudge on my white paper. That was just not going to happen. So with this little marker as I did is I just put little areas next to the area that I wanted to blend out and then I used a whole bunch of water. I just kept squeezing my pen. And what happened was the pen wasn't putting enough water out for me to get a diluted as much as I wanted it to. So I actually just picked up my watercolor brush and I was able to get more water on it so I could blend it out more because I wanted it to go from a washed look, so more darker and then fading into the white so you can't even see it anymore. And I really like the way that ended up turning. With the water pen, it just seemed like I had to really squeeze and it would all come out in the blob of water on my paper, which is not what I wanted. I wanted a lot of water but be able to control the water. So if you're going to do a blend like this, I would recommend just pulling out a paintbrush. It'd be a little bit easier for you. I'll get the size in the description down below because I'm not quite sure what size of water brush I used during this filming, so I will put all the details below. And I hope you don't mind me skipping through half of the flowers to save some time on the video. If you like the longer videos, I have no problem posting them. Just let me know which ones you guys prefer. So as I jump back into the night sky, the 141, this dark navy blue, because the color choices here are pink, blue, and white and gold. I know what you're thinking. Oh my goodness, I completely ruined this flower putting this blue in the center, but I promise it comes together in the end, because even when I was doing it, I'm like, what am I doing? This is totally gonna come out wrong. Did I just mess up all this watercoloring I did? But it ended up looking really well. I end up really liking this card so much that I made another one for my grandma, like I was saying. So I let that dry, and that blue does pull back a little bit, so it's not as dark as it looks there. So it will lighten up a little bit by the end of this video. So I pulled out my Simon Says Stamp Cornflower Blue cardstock. This came in the June card kit. And then I just pulled out my distressed ink, and that's in the Chipped Sapphire. So what I did with this is I just heavily blended that on my corners and on the sides of my cardstock. What I wanted to do was I wanted this to be super dark like the center of my flowers and the leaves. And the cornflower was still just a little too light blue for me, so I figured I would just deepen it up with this Chipped Sapphire. And then I just took a scrap piece and also darkened just one area because I'm going to use this for my sentiment. So I wanted this to be even darker actually than the sides, so I added a little bit more ink blending to this area. So my base is 4.5 by 5.5. So this is a little bit more of a wonky card. I want this one to be a little bit different. And then I just put my foam adhesive on the back. These are my little squares I get from the Dollar Tree. I'm still obsessed with them, but I think I'm gonna order a jumbo roll off of Amazon. Carrie Webster posted her top 5 crafty tools that she gets on Amazon, and the jumbo foam tape was on one of her lists. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out on Amazon and getting me a couple rolls of that because I think that will come in real handy for me. So then I went ahead and cut down my card. I'm not quite sure actually what I cut it to. I just wanted a little bit of that blue peeking out, so I kind of eyeballed it and cut it. I'm sorry I don't have those dimensions for you. So here is that tiny little piece of scrap paper, and I'm just tapping my EK Tools powder tool to get some extra powder because I did not want any of this embossing powder sticking to the distressed ink because distressed ink stays sticky for a while. So I really coated that. I was going to go back over it anyway, so it was fine. And I just stamped love in the far right hand corner of that. And I just used some white embossing powder. I actually changed this container already. That was just a little small container I had laying around, but I went ahead and bought a different container to store my embossing powder in because that little one was just making too big of a mess trying to get everything back in it. And then I just had my heat tool nice and hot and embossed that and heat set that as well. And then I use my little stamp chamois. I use this little guy for everything. I wash him often, but I use him for cleaning my mats, cleaning my stamps, cleaning my cards now. So yeah, I just wiped all of that powder off and got that nice dark blue back again, and then went back over with that Chipped Sapphire just to deepen that color a little bit more. And then I went ahead and cut my sentiment. This is my new paper trimmer that I got not too long ago. I was using a cheaper one, so I went with the Fiskars. Michael's had a nice coupon, 60% off, so I was super happy to get this Fiskars trimmer. This will be in the link down below as well. But they had an amazing sale not too long ago. I was able to pick up all of my lockables that I keep my sequins in. They had a huge binder. It's normally like $20-something, and I end up getting it for $8, and it has 4 lockables on each side. So it came with 8 lockable containers, which was an awesome deal because those usually sell for like $3 a piece anyways. So I was able to get the container that holds all of my lockables along with all of the actual lockables themselves for $8. So I felt like a kid in a Christmas store that day. It was so exciting because the lady that I go to at Michael's, she knows me because I'm always doing my orders, and then after work I'll come by and I pick up my stuff. But she's just she's like, yeah, we can do this one, and did you see this one? And I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta get all this stuff. But here are my lockables. So I end up getting 8 of these containers along with the holder for $8. What a steal. And then these sequins, I got these actually at Walmart. It came in a little chibi pack. I'll see if I can find something similar down below. And then I just used my Tombow adhesive. And this took me a while to get these little sequins in the way I wanted them to, so I just kind of skipped past that. But yeah, I used the Tombow and then just used my picker tool to pick that up, and I used the end to also place it because it does like to stick to the picker more than the glue. So those two little duos work good together. I just used the end to place it in. Alrighty, and then I'm going to use some glossy accents just to go over my sequins to give them more of a button look. I wanted them to look more like gold buttons on the card. And I just really love the way this came out. This is such a gorgeous card. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. So the beautiful card is an A2 size card, and the love card was the 4.5 by 5.5 card. So they're not that much of a difference, but it is a little bit of a difference, as you can see. But you can squeeze it into a card. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!